Welcome to the month of June and the start of meteorological summer. Today, our average high temperature is about 74. We are definitely beating that as temperatures are hovering right around 90 degrees throughout most of the area. But on average, at the end of the month, our highs are up to the low 80s and our average low is up to near 60. We get those later sunsets, the latest of the year, toward the end of the month into early July, where the sunset time goes down to 8:30 p.m. And on average, we pick up close to 4 inches of rain. Now, today, it is dry and it is hot, definitely an above normal day. Meteorological spring, when we talk, or meteorological summer, actually, not spring. When we talk about the different seasons, the official start to summer will happen in the next couple of weeks, of course. But meteorologists and climatologists have to break it down from the start of a month to the end of the month just to keep records a little bit easier to recognize and understand. So temperatures climb through the 70s throughout the course of June. We max out with highs on average in the middle 80s through July, our warmest month of the year. And then by August, we're talking average highs in the lower 80s for most of the month. Now, typically, we pick up about 15 days during the course of the year where we hit 90 degrees or warmer. So far, we have seen one in the month of April, but we didn't get any in the month of May, which ended up being just slightly above average temperature-wise. Last year, we picked up 21 days with 90-plus degree temperatures. Now, 90s are being seen all across the eastern seaboard today. I mean, it is warm out there, especially in New England. Check out Burlington, Vermont, which is hotter than almost everybody up and down the East Coast. Right now, checking in at 95. Westfield has dropped to 89. But they were at 91 earlier. We do have clear skies, a lot of dry air still in place across southern New England, but to our north, a lot of showers and thunderstorms, and we're going to be watching those develop for tomorrow for our area as a cold front moves in. But for tonight, all is quiet. Temperatures will be cooling off gradually tonight, not getting too cool overnight just because of the warm air mass in place. We should end up back in the low to mid 50s. Then tomorrow morning, temperatures rise fast. Full sunshine to start off the day, and the early fog should burn off quickly. We should start seeing some scattered cloud cover mid to late morning, but we are still dry and mainly sunny. So temperatures are going to approach mid 80s by 11 a.m. and lower 90s by the early afternoon. But by 2 o'clock, we'll start to see a couple of isolated showers develop, especially in the hill towns, and then more widespread showers and thunderstorms are expected through the afternoon and evening. We could get caught in some slow moving heavy rainfall, and there's also a very low risk for an isolated severe storm that could produce damaging wind gusts. The atmosphere tomorrow is right for microburst activity. We usually tend to not see much, but one storm could produce a microburst tomorrow. So that's something we're going to be keeping a close eye on. We know from experience that microburst can cause some pretty solid damage, but there's not a guarantee. It's actually a low risk. Now, showers will continue through Friday evening, tapering off Friday night, but an occasional shower may still occur through early Saturday morning. Just a general thunderstorm risk for the most part. Again, that severe weather risk is very low for the area. And temperature-wise, it's still going to be a very hot afternoon, especially if those storms can hold off for another hour or two. The later they arrive, the hotter it's going to be. But then a dramatic drop. Saturday's highs, low 60s for western Mass and 50s out toward the eastern coastline. For Sunday, middle to upper 60s expected, but we're still cloudy and a bit unsettled. And then next week, it looks like just a daily shower threat from Tuesday all the way out through Thursday due to a lingering upper level low, and all of next week's temperatures staying below normal. Chris, back to you.
Janna, thanks.